Practical application of Illustrator. Here I have this image off the internet. It's pretty pixelated, and what I want to do is turn it into a vector image just as an example. I'm going to bring it into Photoshop and go File, New, OK, Edit, Paste. So just copy from the image, paste it into Photoshop. This works on all art. This is just for educational purposes only, that I'm using something from the internet. I like this piece because it has a gradient. It would be hard to translate. So this is how it's done. I want to turn this into a 2-color image. First off, I'm going to select color range. My first color would be black. I'm going to rank the fuzziness up and hit OK. I'll edit copy the black. Go into Illustrator, go File, New, OK, and then Edit, Paste. Here, I'm just going to leave it the same size. Go into Tracing Options. Go to Preview. Sometimes this window is kind of big, so what I'm going to do is drag it over here a little bit and adjust the threshold until I can start seeing these elements connect. A lot of times I'll zoom way out. That way I can get kind of like the aesthetic appeal of it at a face value. And then when I'm happy with it, I'll hit Ignore White and then Trace. I'll start setting this up so that it's on different layers. Here I'll make a new layer and then lock out the black. Put the black one on top, and I use this feature under transparency called multiply. So first click on the butterfly, which is locked now, so unlock it. Set it to multiply, and then go back to your layers and lock it on up. Okay, so now I can't touch it, can't move it, and anything I put underneath it will show through because multiply ignores white. Even though I did ignore white already. I like doing the variation of both of them. I'm going to go select, deselect, select color range, and I want this blue. Okay, so here, I'm going to choose blue, and then I'm going to rank the fuzziness down until I get that area of blue. That being said, there's 2 blues here. If I want a 3-color design, I have to do this 3 different times. Or I hold Shift if I want a 2-color design. So now all these bits of blue are showing up. And what I want to do is make sure I rank the fuzziness down until I only see blue and not black as much. So these elements. Let's say right about there. Edit, copy, Illustrator, edit, paste. Alright, I'm going to drag this off to the side and use the same workflow I just did. Here I'm just going to go to Tracing Options again. I'm going to say Ignore White, Preview, and then I'm going to rank up the threshold. Okay, sometimes I overdo it, and I like the 248 right here. I'll hit Trace. What I want to do is now expand it so I can change the color value. I do that using swatches, and in fact I set up a couple swatches of what I really want as far as color goes. Here, for example, maybe I want to choose a blue. Let's choose a lighter blue and hit OK. Notice the swatch turns gray. Okay. Highly annoying, right? Check this out. If you go over to blue, it turns blue. And then what's even weirder is you can go over here and now choose a lighter blue and it works. Don't ask me why, it just does, okay? So what's nice about this is I can choose that as a new swatch. I like this lighter blue. And I like this darker blue, which is just cyan, but that's okay. And I'll put them right next to each other. So there's my light blue and dark blue. This way you can give the option of having a third color. I'll show you how to do that. So here I'm just going to put that element over here and kind of put it in position using the arrow tools. So not bad. I like this. If I want to add more to it, I can just simply go to the blob tool. Okay? And I can start filling in the gaps. Like this right here. This way I'm trapping color. As a graphic designer, you'll know that what'll happen is if you try to print this via offset and don't have the color underneath the black, it will look very bad if you're off by just a little bit. So I overpaint this into the black region so that way I don't have that problem. And a little bit right here. Let's talk about a third color option. Okay. Now remember, this is on a new layer, so I can always work with it later. Let's make a third color. Let's go back to Photoshop and see what that color might be. Select, deselect, select color range. Let's choose this area right here. Rank the fuzziness up until I'm happy with what I have and hit OK. Edit copy. Again, go back to Illustrator to edit paste. Move that element off to the side so you can work on it. And let's live trace that. Again, I always go to live trace options. That way I have a few things I can change. Again, preview, ignore white, and rank the fuzzy or the threshold up. Okay, right about there. And let's hit OK. Let's expand it. Change the color. Remember, I already picked out a blue for it. So that one right there. Let's go to layers and make sure it's on that layer. It's on the middle layer. And I could bring that as an element on top of all the other colors. Again, I like this, but it needs some touching up. So I'll use the blob tool for a minute with this color and just kind of smooth out the transition between the two colors. Sometimes I'll leave bits and pieces of it behind. It looks kind of cool that way. So now this color starts fading in. And anything I want to clean up, like the outside, I can just simply go in with the eraser tool and start cleaning those bits. And it's not going to hurt the black. This is the nice thing about this workflow, is the fact that the black is locked out on a multiply layer. All right, so there we go. Now, if you want to turn this into a 3-color design as far as the separations go, well, let's go like this. Let's go into swatches and double click this one and turn it into a spot color. Okay, I do that by clicking spot color, and I check this one and make it a spot color. Okay. Now the reason I did that is because when I go to print separations, I can go File, Print, and under Output, I can choose Separations. It will print out the different spot colors when you're doing this. Here I got process black. I'm going to choose that one. And I'm going to put, now I can't really show you this because of the fact that I have no ability to print out something and show it to you. But trust me when I say it'll print quite nicely with those separations. Yeah, and it's black and white, so printer that I do have. So this should work. What my worry is I'm not seeing the two spot colors listed below. That being said, I'm going to hit print and just kind of look at it at my end to make sure that nothing's bad. Okay, it's only printed one piece of paper. So what I want to do is make sure that these are actually the spot colors. Okay, and click this one. I'm just double clicking it to make sure that it's in place. I can debug this workflow by going into separations preview, and I can see that in my preview I do in fact have my separations showing. That's telling me that it's my printer, not my document. Check this out. I can choose this is a separation, this is a separation, or this is a separation, okay? Or any of the others. So this is a great way to debug your workflow to make sure that it's your printer and not your document. So I know if I actually print this via output separations, now look at my two colors now show up. So this indicates that I do have a good workflow and it's going to separate quite well. So if I hit print, it should print out 3 pages. Those pages are going to look different, but you're going to understand that if you're a graphic designer, there's not going to be any color. All the colors will be black, but on 3 separate sheets. So that's my 3-color image design and debugging workflow that you need for the separations, how to get it from Photoshop to Illustrator, how to clean up the lines, how to erase color, the whole bit. Enjoy.